Okay, good morning, guys. I wanted to do a recap on our property here in Okeechobee. We've been here for a year now, and about a year ago I did a quick tour to show the property and what it looks like, and now we'll do an update where we're at this year. Banana. Also, I think that's cassava, but it's like an ornamental cassava or something. I don't know. It was a house plant that didn't do well inside. We have Namwa. I think both of these are Namwa. Originally I put Namwa and Cavendish together, but I think the Namwa beat out the Cavendish. I don't know, it might still be there. Shortly after we arrived, we had this fence put up, and I'm gonna use it as a trellis for sweet potatoes. I could be wrong, but in my experience, when I gave the sweet potatoes something to climb on, the tubers did much better. They were much bigger. You can hear some chickens in the background. So during this video, I'll talk about some of the struggles that we're having. One of them is that chickens like to undo my work. So we have two kinds of sweet potatoes. Those are just normal store-bought Publix. And then this is called the Blackie sweet potato. Makes a black vine. And the potato looks like a white potato. So yeah, I just trained these sweet potatoes to grow along the fence here. We have passion fruit. I bought this shortly after we arrived, and then Okeechobee got some frost and it knocked it back down to the ground. So this is less than a year old. It actually survived and it's coming back. As I harvest the sweet potatoes, the vines will die, and then the passion fruit can continue on. And so I'm going to do Blackie, normal sweet potato, Blackie, normal, and I'll just keep doing that probably all along the fence here. As I get pups and separate them from the mother plants, I'm putting them on both sides of this little swale here. So we just have 3 for now, but eventually I'll make this as thick as a forest. And I think that'll be my main crop here, will be bananas. But yeah, they can dip their roots into the water in the swale and get the water that they need. The hens, we have free-ranging hens and roosters. And they know it's almost breakfast time, so they're going to follow me everywhere today. Brought some turmeric with me from Port St. Lucie. Not a lot, so we have 3 here, 3 clusters here. When they die back, I'll harvest a little bit, and I'll put 3 here. Next year we'll have 6. The year after that we'll have 12. And we'll keep going like that. We have Moringa, like I said, pigeon pea. Moringa again, pineapple. So the challenges that we're facing, pigeon pea, we do have something that comes by and eats our food, eats our plants, and it's, I think, deer. I forget what this plant is called, but I hate it because it's so thorny, and I think there's like something in the thorns, because it doesn't just poke you and hurt, but it stings, and I don't know. But anyways, I hate it so much. I'm gonna try. I've been cutting it back, but I noticed it's just so prolific. So I'm gonna try this archway. See if we can get it to shape like that. And we'll see. More Blackie sweet potato. But yeah, something comes by. So my pineapples haven't been doing well because they keep getting eaten. But that one seems to be all right. I did find a source of mulch. Side note, those chicken feeders are for sale. They're $80 at Tractor Supply, $50 if you guys buy them from me. We're not using them anymore because we're fermenting our chicken feed. My mom is living with us, and we had a plumbing system put in the ground to pump the septic all the way to our septic tank. So all this dirt here was uprooted when that system got put in, and which is good because, like in my video a year ago, I show that this property holds a lot of water. So I need to do more earthworks here and dig these swales deeper, possibly put in more swales, but also mound more earth. So this earth was mounded, and I've just put in some moringa seeds, and we have 3 of them popping up here. My video a year ago, I planted moringa in some mulch piles like this out there, and they didn't survive, and it's because the ground is just too wet, and we get frost. Okeechobee is in a weird spot where we're south of places like Orlando, but seem to get more frost dates per year than places more north of us like Orlando. It's a strange climate. But you'll see I have moringa in other places that is doing well, so I think if it gets frost, it'll recover just fine. This is our rabbit. He is in the same house, but in a better location with our Somani birds. That's our Somani rooster. And 3 hens. They're laying. We're selling their eggs, their fertilized eggs. We can fertilize them and hatch them for you. You can take the eggs unfertilized. I mean unhatched. We don't have any eggs today. But yeah, these birds are super cool. They are completely black, like all the way through. I use this pen to make potting soil and garden bed soil, fill dirt. I just put in these wood chips and these leaves. In about 3 months, they'll be a deep, rich, dark compost. This growing along here is Luffa. If you're not familiar with Luffa, inside of here is a fibrous loofah. It's actually like a shower loofah. So you can let that dry out, take the husk off, and then grow your own loofah. It's also a vegetable you can eat when it's green. I haven't tried it yet, but the pigs seem to like it. I have a new compost bin set up. The hens like it. They shouldn't, because I put coffee grounds in there. And coffee grounds are not good for hens, but that's okay. It's kind of low. I'll put a second one there once this gets full, and just doing slow compost. Once that gets full, I'll turn it once into the new pile. I'll start putting in there. You know, that'll be quite a while from now. Our kitchen scraps don't go that far, and you know, sometimes I'll prune some trees and I'll put the leaves in here or whatever, but for the most part, we're just cold composting in place. I was composting quite a bit in this banana circle back here. I'll show you that. This is Seminole pumpkin. So again, talking about the challenges, the hens and the roosters, they like to undo a lot of my work. Whether it's taking mulch off of banana trees, or eating pumpkins, eating vegetables, whatever it is, they like to undo it. So this will hopefully be an Everglades tomato bed. Looks like we have some Brussels sprouts sprouting up in there too. So that's awesome. Maybe with our strange climate where it gets a little bit colder, maybe I'll actually get some Brussels sprouts here. This is pomegranate. I've taken this dirt, mounded it up, and given it to this pomegranate tree. It's actually 2 trees. They like well-draining soil, so you mound it up like that and it works much better. Just being honest, guys, when dealing with livestock, you do deal with death. So sometimes the chickens get sick and they pass away. In that pomegranate pile are some chicken carcasses, which do well. Feeds the plants over time. I do that with the banana trees too. This is our Florida room, as everyone in Florida knows, and you know, almost everyone in Florida has one. And in here we're keeping some newer hens that we like, that are younger, and we want to protect them a little bit. So we've transformed this room into more of like a hatchery for our younger birds. They're for the most part protected in the screen. However, we have had some rodents still figure out that they can get in. And instead of replacing the screen, because they're just going to do it again, we're just using duct tape. I need to fix that hole. But that's why we're putting them in the boxes at night. There's another hole. That's why we're putting them in the boxes at night that I made to protect them. These are Polish chickens, and they're stupid. They don't know how to get out of the box, so I have to help them out. Stupid birds. All right, guys, I'll feed you in a little bit. No. So again, last year in my video, I talked about the gray water system. I talked about wanting to put a banana circle here. Most of my compost for this past year has been going here. Kitchen scraps, expired feed, animal feed, everything. Leaves, branches, everything went here. These are just 3 Cavendish, and hopefully I'll be getting some racks soon. We have a pineapple here that's actually doing pretty well. The Mexican tree spinach, another pineapple that's doing okay. Asparagus seems to be doing all right. And Moringa, this is the first Moringa that actually took off. I had a lot of trouble getting Moringa to start here, guys. This bed is mostly horse and cow manure, aged horse and cow manure, and then some chicken manure, sand, and actually a lot of oak leaf compost. And it seems to be doing well. Right now the asparagus is about to go to sleep for the winter, and we'll get it to come back in the spring. The Barbados cherry found its home here. It's crazy. I was looking at the last year's video before this one, and there's still a lot of plants here that I haven't planted. This Moringa, I haven't decided where I'm going to put it. I forget what that is. Some plants that didn't make it. Some pineapple that I still haven't potted. Mostly I didn't pot this pineapple because this, what's this called? This basil was taken over, and I wanted to wait for the basil to die. This fig was doing great until this papaya next to it kind of took all its shape. So the papaya seems to be doing well. We'll get our first fruit off of that soon. I planted the one next to it too close, so you can see they're touching leaves, and they don't like that. So this one said, you know what, let me stretch way out here, and we'll see if it keeps going. Again, I did it another time. Too close. It's fine. Namaw banana, more papaya, Mexican sunflower, lychee. And then this is what I'm talking about, how the hens are always undoing my work. This banana pup doesn't look like it's going to make it. You know, I mound up the earth. There's some chicken carcasses under here. Mound up the earth, put the banana on there, and they would just keep taking the mound down, and this banana pup kept falling over. This one, they messed with a little bit, but it actually looks like it's going to survive. That's coffee. I think that's coffee. I might have been duped. That might be wild coffee, but I believe that's coffee. I read that coffee likes some shade, so I put this in before I knew that, and now I need to fix that, and hopefully I can get some bananas around it to shade it out a little bit. This is Willow. We kind of took her in kind of like a rescue. She's older, much older. She has trouble eating. She has trouble putting weight on. Her teeth aren't that great. A lot of feed comes out. She's always had trouble putting weight on. However, despite how skinny she looks, she actually has put on some weight since we got her. And then we have 2 dwarf pygmy goats, Harold and Maud. They are escape artists, especially Harold. He has not figured out how to get out of this pen since I fixed the last hole. So this is where they stay. We have a couple cows too. So shortly after we arrived, we set up this fencing with 2 paddocks. This is probably like 3/4 of an acre. And this one back here is probably 1/2 acre, maybe 3/4 of an acre. And then my neighbor has a heifer too, and we share. They beat up this fencing pretty good, I see. But we share property. So right now they're down at his place, and it's about time for them to come back. I think his grass is pretty low. They'll come through, they'll eat all this down. They'll probably do this in less than a month. And then we'll move them back here. And once they're done here, we'll send them back. And then I spent a lot of time building different types of chicken pens, turkey pens. This was a turkey pen. We have an emu. This is Raptor. She's very curious. She's a pretty good bird. Emus can be vicious. You know, we have these oak trees that line the whole property, and I spent some time pruning them to make sure that none of the branches hung lower than like 7 feet. I didn't need my eyes getting poked out or the horse's eyes getting poked from low-hanging branches. So that's what all this is, and I use it to make biochar. I haven't used it in a while because it's been so wet here, but you dig a cone-shaped pit, put in your branches, burn it down, and then you have biochar. Almost all of these pallets we got for free. We did have to pay for the fencing and the chicken wire, but that's okay. The roofing I experimented with. You know, lumber price has been crazy this year, so Home Depot had this like it's kind of like skate light material. For my skateboard friends, they'll know what I'm talking about, but it's like a really cheap sheet that was only $8 a sheet, so I used that for the roofing, and obviously didn't hold up too well in the water. The previous owners had a whole bunch of scrap wood, so some pens have, you know, actual wood for roofing, others don't. These need quite a bit of work, but right now I'm not too interested in fixing them up because we have, what do we have? We have 57 birds right now, and originally we set up all these different pens for different breeds. We were interested in breeding, and we've lost interest in that. Now we're more interested in egg production and meat production, and we aren't concerned about keeping the different breeds separate. So they fit, you know, I can fit 10 birds in a coop, and I don't need all these coops anymore. I'll leave them up for now, but it's okay. We have Potbelly Pigs, male and female. They had, how many piglets did they have? I think they had 7, maybe it was more. We have 2 left. They're pets, you know, we sell them if anyone's interested. We have our original red hens. There's a well summer rooster in there with them too. I'm not sure where he is actually at the moment. It's kind of weird. Oh, he's over there. I've never seen him on that side of the fence. He usually stays in here. But everybody's hungry. This is the one pen where they actually are laying eggs. Let's see if I can get that to focus. There we go. And they really have stopped laying so much because it's been so hot and so wet, and they don't want to lay. But also, I think they're laying somewhere else, and I don't know where they're laying. These guys I'm keeping in here, so they're completely covered. Reason being is I'm having them fertilize this ground, and it'll turn into a pumpkin patch, seminal pumpkin patch. Gotta let these guys out. Hold on. We have, what is this? Okra from the summer still. And the piggies love to eat the okra. Let's see if I can find one. No. Not any worth it anyways. They're too small. It's kind of small, but that's really just about done. Here you go, dude. Have a lot of work to do still, and learning how to care for animals has been definitely a learning experience. It's been time consuming, so I would have liked to have done more with the plants and got more plants in, but I'm just not there right now, and that's okay. I want to see how far I can take this and how self-sustaining I can be. All right, thank you.